Welcome, AI Explorers. We're excited to have you back with us. We're going to tinker with some GPTs today. We're going to try to create our own. We found recently a GPT that we've tinkered with in our previous video, and now we're going to attempt to work on our own using our Dungeons & Dragons prompt as the base for that.
Right, so kind of excited to do it. If you're not familiar with our Dungeons & Dragons prompt, it is here on our website. I'll show you that really quick. The Ultimate ChatGPT Prompt course for Dungeons & Dragons. And inside the course, you'll see that we have prompts that we've talked about on this channel before. And it's kind of a long, detailed prompt that allows you to do quite a bit, okay? So just a quick example in this video, and then we'll jump out to the GPT piece. But basically it says you only have to give it very basic information. Make me a character of a certain level, certain race. And we'll do that really quick. But before we do, I want to tailor it again. We were actually just looking at this. We used to create a mid-journey description here, but we're looking at create a player portrait. So we can do that. I'm going to edit it really quick. So create a character portrait. Create a character portrait.
Yeah, and that's what's nice, that they've added DALL-E to the whole process here so that you can just do it in one fell swoop.
So we're going to ask it to create the character art for the character with an aspect ratio of 4:6. Okay. Let's just keep it moving. It's going to say, yes, I'm happy to do that. All right. I'm going to ask it to make a level 1. We did this earlier. I kind of want to show up the earlier chat. We'll do this. Make a level 20 wizard, and then human wizard, and then we're going to make a level 1 human wizard, just so you can see the difference in the picture. Freaking hilarious. All right. Ilarion the Arcane. I wonder, earlier it was creating the image up first in the description. I'll maybe create the with an aspect. Okay. Maybe it'll do it at the end. Yeah. We'll see what happens. It says it's going to do it, so. But not yet. Anyway, the whole point was to give you an idea of what the prompt does. And if you haven't seen our video before, we give it detailed instructions. We provided them in markdown format. And what the character sheet prompt does is it makes a very detailed character sheet with very little information. And it does it on the fly, which is amazing. Look at how thorough this is. I love that.
And if you're a DM and you're trying to, your players have decided to go, as they invariably will, not the direction that you've planned for, you could use this prompt to help generate a quick NPC to fill in that gap that you may have. So you're not having to sweat it near as much. You can fill in some, details about the area as it's generating this content, and then you see this gruff looking man seated behind the XYZ or leaning against a barrel.
Right. And look, now it allowed me to continue generating, which I appreciate that it's added that functionality. And then it says, now let's create the character art for Ilarion, but it's kind of stalled on me. So I hope that that's not an indicator of future problems.
Well, one of the nice things about what they announced on that Dev Day thing was that the thing that ChatGPT has more tokens involved, so it can create more content before it stops, and has that typically this lag that we've experienced with these more robust prompts when we're trying to get it to create so much content.
All right, so we're going to see if it just creates the character art for me. It's having issues right now. Oh, here we go. It's creating the image.
Here's the art.
And then we're going to have it make. We're going to have it make a level 1 wizard after this, so you can see the difference of how it just takes information like, a level 20 wizard is going to look like this, but a level 1 wizard is going to look like this. It's kind of humorous.
I mean, when we did it earlier, obviously it did one thing, and was fantastic. Now I'm wondering if it's going to maintain the same gender. Here's Caius Lightweaver. Likes that name.
Yeah, I've noticed that with the character generation, I think it like knows the player's handbook and knows the name options in there for the different races, and it just sticks with them. But I was thinking about that actually in terms of the character generation, that we need to build into it a little bit more originality for the different characters. I wonder if
we make
also,
our GPT, we'll do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with GPTs, I wonder if there will be versioning. It makes sense that as ChatGPT evolves, so would the software that you build on it. So,
well, obviously, a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons people want to have, their character has a tragic backstory, where their family's slaughtered or.
Yeah.
Though we should do as we create our one GPT here with this, we should make it they had a fantastic life. They were well treated. They just decided they wanted to be an adventurer, and their family gave them all sorts of funds and.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen eventually to somebody,
right?
But it's interesting. Okay, continue generating. I wonder if it's going to generate the character art here at the end of this prompt. It's because it is a lot for it to do, and it looks like it's stalled out again as it considers.
Well, give it a minute.
You stalled out
never
on
mind.
the image. Please make character art. I should punctuate or capitalize or whatever. All right, so it's creating the image.
Yes.
And this is just one example of the prompts that we have available. And so building out the GPT to do it, again, we haven't dived into this at all. No. It could be really ill-advised to do it in front of you. And yet we want to kind of experiment with it with you to show you the process and show you kind of where we're going to land here. Okay, so this is interesting, right? Here's our level 1 human wizard versus our level 20 human wizard. And one of them looks a lot more serious and battle-worn than the other.
Experienced. So, yeah. It's interesting that it stuck with the same gender, So that's fascinating. I was concerned this time because the last time it was just serendipity that it created those two individuals. So, fantastic.
All right. Well, so now we're going to turn to actually creating a GPT. And like we said, we've never done this before, but we're going to start figuring it out. It says, hi, I'll help you build a new GPT. Well, okay. I would like to make a GPT that helps people play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, let's do character creation. Let's keep it simple. Keep it tight.
Okay, you just want to do character creation?
Yeah.
People
who play Dungeons and Dragons create a character.
Okay. I would like to make a GPT that helps people create characters in order to play Dungeons and Dragons.
There you go.
Can I tell it that I already have a detailed prompt that I've used in the past? Detailed prompt I've used in the past that I'd like to package in a GPT. Let's see what it says.
How best can I provide that information or
updating GPT? All right, so it's taking this information. I'm curious as to what it's going to do. We've got create and configure. What do these tabs even do?
I don't know. Again, we're coming at this blind, so this is going to be a really detailed learning experience.
How about naming it Dungeon Architect? Does this work for you?
Ooh. Or character architect. That's what I would say.
D&D character architect, right?
Yeah, D&D character architect.
All right. Let's name it well, that's not copyrighted, is it? D&D character architect?
It's got to be fair use. It's still.
All right, let's name it D&D character architect. I mean, that's what it makes. Updating GPT. Let's see what it does. We'll debate it in the office with the lawyers and figure out if that's what we're going to call it.
Well, the OGL that they had so much to do about a year and a half ago is still in place. So
right. Yeah, I mean, I think the things that are copyrighted that are like protected. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, I like
That
it.
is nuts.
It's a cool image. Got dice and a dragon above it.
I mean, I like it, except that I would like that for like the general GPT that we're gonna make for Dungeons and Dragons generally, but I don't know that that embodies what it is to create a character. Mechanical or more than. Okay, so here I'm just gonna give it the prompt. This is the prompt that I've already created. I want it to work exactly like this. Boom. Let's see what it does with that. It's going to like sit there and be like, what do I do with this?
Well, no, it's thinking about it.
It's thinking about it. We'll see.
It's going to be fascinating what it's going to create with this. And I think with some more refinement as we understand these things better, it'll be better. Oh, look at this.
It's ready to create character sheets completely. I mean, or add any additional features to D&D character archetype. I mean, so this, I'm going to look at this configure tab. Okay, so instructions. It activates this function only when the user provides a specific prompt. Make a level, race, class. Upon receiving this prompt, it follows a detailed procedure to create a character sheet. Accurate. Process includes generating tables for basic character information, physical attributes, personality traits, abilities, skills. Okay. Cinematic style character description. The character sheet is formatted in Markdown. All right. I want to add the other stuff to it, though.
Well, do we want to
look how it updated the conversation starters?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you look to your right there, and you've got those starters underneath the GPT. So
holy cow!
I think part of it needs to be, them providing some of the details, because previously our prompt was like it would just create the background story for you, and that's better for, say, a DM rather than a player, because they want to have more control over that particular aspect. Yes or no?
Well, but we could adjust the prompt that we fed it, and then it would automatically accept that. But what I'm intrigued by here is this knowledge, additional files for this GPT to reference. Like, I wonder how many files you can upload. And then also, like, we wouldn't need a code interpreter here. I think web browsing might be useful if you're a new player and you're like, hey, how does this work? It might need to browse the web. And then actions. I'm going to click on upload files just to see what happens. It's probably just going to open up. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's add actions. What does this do? Let your GPT retrieve information or take actions outside of GPT. Oh, that's fascinating. That's not something we're doing with this prompt necessarily, but this is a way to tie it into other things. Oh, this is so cool. All right, I'm going to have to look at this later.
I wonder if we could tie that into some of these digital platforms like Roll20 or
I bet
Beyond
you could.
D&D.
Dude, if you're D&D Beyond or Roll20, you should be looking at this. And if you're not, give us a call. We have a consulting tab on our website. Okay.
Yeah, give us a call. We'll help you out.
All right. I want to provide the follow-up prompts to it as well. We have a couple of follow-up prompts that request specific information. We want you to have and use this in the as an option that you can use to offer after a character is created. Let's see.
I'm surprised they haven't added the audio feature to the desktop version of this, because most of these things, most computers now have mics and other ways because of remote work and such. So
right, yeah, I'm curious about that as well. I mean, it's got to be on the way, right? But
I would think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely playing with the audio version of ChatGPT on my phone has been really fun. Okay, let's see what it has to say. Now it has a different. Okay, after generating. Okay, all right. Now let's give it the gameplay prompt as well. Okay. Here is another follow-up prompt we use. And I love how it's saving all this information and just kind of doing it on the fly. Do what? I missed the last thing you said.
No, it's good. It's good.
And then finally, I want to modify it. Anywhere where it says mid-journey description, we should tell it to just create an image instead.
Yeah, for sure.
I forgot to do that. Yes, let's modify some of the behavior in the prompts. We sometimes ask for a mid-journey description. For the character creation prompt and for the action prompts that users may use, instead of providing a mid-journey description, you should just go ahead and make the image. For character portraits, the aspect ratio should be 4:6. For player actions, the aspect ratio should be 16:9, right? Okay.
Sure.
And then, is there anything else we want to modify in this? I liked how it had, options for creating the character on the front end.
Well, see, and I think that's where we have to compartmentalize it a little bit. Now we've got all this other stuff in there. Those 4 beginner things have changed drastically as we've added more to this. So looking at it now, maybe they need to be a little more on the simple side rather than the specific side, focusing on one aspect of the game or one aspect of play.
Well, I mean, because it's a character generator, I think all the conversation starters should be variations on the example prompt to begin creating a character. So we'll see if it updates that.
It's retooling it now as it rotates its little wrench.
Okay, perfect. I'm happy with this. Is there anything else we need to do before saving this GPT? Now, again, this looks quick, what we've done. But we prepared those prompts in the past, right?
Right. And so we have a lot of backup information there.
Then we're all set. Feel free to try out D&D character in the playground. So this is the preview. So if I just click this, let's see what happens. And if it works well, then we have created a GPT.
It already started with the image.
Yeah, which is what I like. I like it to make the image at the beginning. So let's... It's going to create our character in image format and then give us the details. This is so slick, actually.
This will be fun to see what it does. Okay, so
level 4 elf bard. Okay, boom! Look at that, loot and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Extra strings that go off into nothing.
But
only 4 fingers and a missing thumb. But hey, these AI builders are having a tough time. You can use this image. Okay, but it didn't make everything else. Does it not? I wonder if it was just too much information for it to take in.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is we may have to simplify it. What about all the other information for the character?
Well, I also wonder... No, it's not doing it. That's
okay,
nuts.
So that's where I think we go back and we do it interview style like you did with the...
well, I wonder, could you... So I wonder if it's a memory limitation. Like, what if by uploading files, it stores it and it can reference it?
Maybe.
Because...
Something to try.
Yeah, because it's not doing what we asked it to do when we tested it out.
And
What do
I
these
think
three dots
this
do?
comes down to what I was thinking is that
What?
you don't save it publicly yet.
No, I'm not going to save it publicly. Only me. All right.
Only
Well, we're
me.
not. We may not save it at all because that's a significant set of changes to make. But let's take a look at when creating characters is instead of providing Okay, for character portraits, the images are created.
See, I think this is where we're going to have to think on the configuration a little bit for this application. This, so that it walks the person through the process instead of
the prompt?
trying to do.
Is this what's saved? Is this the only information that's saved? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it says those are the
interesting.
instructions. That kind of seems to limit the value of a GPT. Look, it fits all in here. I wonder if we just save that and then we come over here and now I click make a level 4 elf bard. Let's see what it does.
Okay, so now, it's based on those last bits of things. So you'd have to combine all of that together into that custom instruction.
That's essentially what this is a larger custom instruction field.
Right. Okay, so we'll have to tinker with it some more. But this is a good first step into learning how to do GPTs, is understanding what you can fill in, what it needs. And honestly, I think if we do it more in that interview style where we get more information from the player, we'll have a better character created.
Well, I'm really curious now, like
How much stuff can you insert in there?
Well, yeah, and so it seems like these are the instructions for the quote-unquote software. Whereas I thought, so when you use the Create tab, it just creates generic instructions. Whereas if I can fit all of my detailed instructions here, you know what I mean? It looks like that's what it's done. I want to, how do I preview? All right. Now, yeah, okay. So this is the correct format, and we saw this happening. We would need to update that mid-journey description stuff.
Right. But like I said, I think this is a good first attempt at creating a GPT when we have no knowledge of it at all.
Well, again, I thought that these were like public instructions that it shows to other people. But if these are our internal instructions that we give it, and then you save it out.
Yeah. I think this is, like I said, I think we could make this more questioning where it asks, what specific things do you want this character to have instead of it just generating it on the random,
And then when it generates the character, it does all of this stuff still.
Right.
It still generates it in the structured format, but it will have sought feedback first.
Correct. And that's what I think we want it to do. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I think this is really great for like a DM on that. I need a character right now because my players have gone off the rails of the story that I was trying to write here.
Right.
And so this is fantastic. But if you're creating this for your own play and pleasure, then I think we're going to want to have more feedback and input from the player themselves.
Okay. So I'm thinking that we still want to figure out our prompts in detail the way we've done it. I want to play with the knowledge, the uploading files. Like I wonder if just uploading them in Word documents does it by providing, or text files probably, or even maybe a CSV or something. Go ahead.
What does when you click upload files, what does it say? Does it recommend a file type or does it matter?
It didn't matter. It looked like it was able to accept a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So,
that's cool.
If would you upload a PDF of the player's handbook? I wonder how much it can take. That's not that, we don't have the copyright, opportunity to do that. That's not something we would do, but
that's fair.
But if you're Wizards of the Coast, is that something you can do to create a custom one?
Yeah. To augment the tabletop version of the game, for sure.
Character sheet. young human sorcerer, so it's generating the spells automatically, which I like. I'm going to ask it, in lieu of a mid-journey description, hold on. Can you create the character art for this character? And let's see what it does. Well, it looks like, I guess the next important thing to announce is we will have GPTs available soon that we will link to from within our course for those of you who have already subscribed, and for those of you who are interested in accessing these GPTs. That's where we'll place it currently so that you can begin to access it. That is our human sorcerer. Pretty cool.
Like that.
Good old Eric Stormwind.
He shouldn't be studying a book. He's a sorcerer, not a mage, not a wizard.
I don't think the ChatGPT knows it that well yet, but
fair.
Cool. Well, that was fun. Looks like we're going to be making GPTs here soon. So.
Oh yeah, I think those are going to be fantastic. I'm excited to tinker with them and really flesh them out.
Well, me too. But thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for following our channel. And if you've been following this, our journey with AI, check us out at tingenuity.ai as we continue to post these videos and discuss more and more each week about some of these issues we're encountering as artificial intelligence continues to advance. So very cool.
Well, excited to continue the exploration with you and with our audience.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Bye.